Oh my god. Okay. This is literally the last time. I have tried to do this so many times now and keeps getting messed up. I don't know what to say. And I'm tired of doing it. And it's so stupid that I'm even in this position that I even have to say these things. This video was supposed to be a lot longer. It was going to be a lot longer, but I ended up just scrapping that because it was just like a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to like re-traumatize myself with everything that's going on in my life. So I'm going to keep it brief. I'm going to try to keep it short. I was going to talk about how when I was a kid, from first to third grade, when I was in private school, me and my sister, while we were attending that school, there was another family there that decided that me and my sister, some of the few black kids at the school, didn't look the part, and they were going to do whatever they could to get us to leave. That meant messing with our lunches, getting into fights, pulling hair, messing with our papers in class, you name it. Every day was miserable, and for a long time, the school didn't do anything about it, and they kind of swept it under the rug. In middle school, I was out skateboarding with a buddy of mine in Pearl River, New York, and the cops came by and accused us of being members of a gang. And even though we're obviously not members of a gang, when we were leaving to go to the next town over, as we told them that we were going to do, because they wanted us to leave from the firehouse that we were sitting out in front of, eating our lunch, not doing anything, they decided that it would be a good idea to follow us to where we were going to make sure that we weren't going to break into someone's house or something. I don't know what their intent was, but luckily, where we were going, the person's house that we were at, their parents used to be a cop, so I think that helped. I was going to talk about how I went to a party after college in Suffern, New York, and while hanging out with a bunch of people in the kitchen of this house party, someone tapped me on the shoulder, and when I looked over to see who tapped me on the shoulder, I was sprayed in the face with a fire extinguisher. Couldn't see, my mouth, my throat and my nose were burning, and I was trying to find my way to the sink to wash my eyes out so I could see, and I wanted to know who did it, and suddenly no one knew who it was. No one saw anything, even though I was the only one who was sprayed in the face with a fire extinguisher. And the response from everyone was to tell me to calm down and to let it go. When I was working at a bar in Nyack on Thanksgiving Eve one year, I got jumped by two white guys. And when the cops came, I explained to them what happened. And when I made it clear that I wanted to file a police report, they made it out as if these two guys that assaulted me were just misguided kids that made a mistake and tried to discourage me from filing a police report because it was going to take a long time and I might have to go to court. All things that I was ready and willing to do because I just got assaulted. And even after I filed the report, nothing really came from it. There was no real consequences for the guys involved. And the only outcome for me was that I got to go to Thanksgiving dinner with a black eye, messed up hip, and my jaw being all messed up from hitting my face on the ground from being tackled. I was going to talk about how at my old job at School of Rock, it always felt like there was a higher level of scrutiny in regards to my ability to do my job. How I always felt like I could never mess up and that I had to take on every option for extra work. Anything that was offered to me, I just had to say yes to. I could never say no. Only to never be in a position where I was in line for a promotion, and whenever I would get a bonus or a raise, it was supposed to be treated as if I was just handed a golden ticket. When in reality, I had coworkers that had been at the school for a fraction of the time that I had been there and that were already making more money than me regularly. I also want to talk about how when there was an adult student sharing a photo of an old black man with dirty dreads as some sort of jab towards me and who also threatened to kick my ass because he wasn't getting what he wanted. When I brought this to my boss's attention, rather than directly addressing the situation or even me, had one of my coworkers come to me and basically try to tell me to calm down, just to leave it alone, just let it slide. Because at the end of the day, money was more important than anything else. It was more important than the happiness of me as a member of the staff that had made a lot of money in almost a 10-year period of time at that school. And then on top of all that, when I did finally leave that job, on my last paycheck, my boss made sure that it came out to an exact amount of $0.00. But yeah, thanks for that black square on your Instagram. That should feed my kids. And there were countless other instances where I felt like I wasn't equal, like I was beneath everyone around me, and like I had no one there looking out for me as much as I was trying to look out for the people I was surrounded by. And there's countless other instances, whether it be bringing my family to the pool, and when a white family sees my family walk into the pool area, decides it's time to start packing up all their stuff and to leave. Or when I'm walking to and from the store and a cop sees me and decides that he's going to go down the street, make a U-turn, come back, and then shine his spotlight right in my face as if his car is not right next to me while I'm on the sidewalk, because to him I look suspicious. But the truth is that those times that I felt like I was less than, like I was being ignored, like no one had my back, at least I can still feel. Not everyone's that lucky. And so that's why I'm making this video today. I've heard so many stupid people online that have said some really dumb things, people that I thought were friends of mine, about what's been going on. And, you know, some of the stuff that I've seen, I really just don't have words for, because it doesn't make sense to me that someone would think that being that disrespectful is at all appropriate in any sort of way. Which, by the way, I hope those kids, whatever schools they're applying to go to college to, I hope they get denied. If they got accepted, I hope their acceptance is being revoked, because you're disgusting. I've also heard a lot of people say things like all lives matter. I see some people saying it as an honest statement because they believe that the lives of all people matter. But then I see other people saying it as a way to correct black people that they think are getting too uppity. And rather than make it into a big angry rant about that, I'll simply explain it this way. When you say all lives matter, what you're doing, whether you mean to or not, is negating the attention being drawn towards Black Lives Matter as a movement. Disproportionately, black people, people of color, are gunned down by the police or renegades out trying to do a citizen's arrest. And usually the outcome that comes from it is minimal as far as consequences. And all of it needs to stop. And I also want it to be understood that I have friends that are police officers, and I've had many just fine experiences with the police. They've helped me out in situations where there's an outdoor music festival and I need to get my car close to the stage, and they've moved barricades to make sure that I can get through and not have to carry a guitar and an amp and everything else, like blocks, to get to where I need to go. However, I see a lot of videos on TikTok and on Instagram of police officers saying that I'm not one of the bad guys. I'm not one of them. And it makes me think of the time when H&M decided it would be a good idea to put out that t-shirt ad with that black kid wearing a shirt that simply said monkey on it. And then when there was a public outcry about it, on behalf of the entire company, they issued an apology. They didn't blame Derek from graphic design. They said, we messed up. So if you want to be a part of the police force, when one of you guys mess up, all of you mess up. There needs to be more accountability. And it shouldn't just be a civilian thing of see something, say something. If you see something as a police officer, if you see one of your colleagues doing something that's not within their job description, you should say something. You shouldn't stay silent about it. And yeah, I don't know what's so hard about that. It seems like there's a lot of effort to present the police as being only human. And the truth is, as long as you have a badge and a gun, you're not only human, you're human plus. You get the exception to the rule. You get to enforce the rules. We, as civilians, simply live underneath the rule of law. You enforce the law. So you need to be held to a higher expectation. Do better. I respect you, but do better. I won't come out here and act like I'm some sort of activist for social justice, but I do know that when I see people walking amongst myself on this place we call Earth, they all are equals to me. They're all human. So why shouldn't they be treated that way? There's no reason why someone that looks like me should have to go into a job and expect to have to deal with just a little bit of racism just so they don't have to worry about getting fired. There's no reason why I should be up at night worried about what's going to happen to my kids in the future when they're older and they get pulled over by the cops because their taillight's out. There's no reason why I should keep turning on the news and hearing about another black person killed by the police and then have the consequences for those people be minimal, if any. I don't know the answers on how to fix everything in America, but what I do know is that as long as you're a person that's standing in the way of any progress being made as far as equal rights for everyone that lives in this country, you're a part of the problem. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some sort of like civil rights activist or anything like that, because I'm really not. I'm better at writing than I am at talking. And honestly, this is the most composed that I've been in all the times that I've tried to make this video. And I'm tired of feeling the feelings that I've been feeling. I'm tired of feeling the way that I've felt through my entire life and being treated differently and feeling like I just got to go with it because that's just the way things are. It's not the way things are supposed to be. So at the root of all this, we collectively need to do better. There needs to be awareness put towards the movement that's going on right now, and everyone needs to be a part of it. And I'm tired of the narrative being turned and redirected to focusing on the looters and the livelihoods of store owners. You know, at least those store owners are alive. Merchandise and broken windows can be replaced. Human lives cannot be. So we need to do better. We got to band together and we got to try whatever we can to change how things are being done in this country. Enough is enough. I shouldn't even be making this video right now. What's going on right now is important. And I'm asking on my own behalf and on behalf of everyone that is a person of color that you do what you can to help out. If you've already been going to protests, as long as you're not going to take selfies, then fine. I thank you. I won't be one to tell people how to express their anger because for most of my life, someone else has been telling me how to go about living my life as a black man, as a black kid. And enough. What you can do instead is open your ears, listen, try to learn something. Ask questions with the intent of listening and learning something. Because more than likely, if you're in a position to be asking questions, you have no idea what my life has been like or the life of anyone else who's a person of color. So learn something. Try to help. I don't really know what else to say. My brain is shot after all these weeks of just everything that's been going on. And it's just been an emotional roller coaster. And I want to say more, but I just don't have the words to put together comprehensive sentences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a bunch of links down below to resources that you can utilize if you want to donate, if you want to help out but you don't have any money, if you can't leave your house but you still want to do something to help out. I'm going to leave stuff for all that down below. If you can donate, great. If you can't, I got you. Let's make something happen here. Let's make a change. Because it's a bad look. This is stupid. I want to thank current and former students of mine that are out going to protests, making their voices heard to make it known that what they are witnessing as young people is wrong. And I encourage everyone of all ages to do the same. This doesn't need to be a young issue. It doesn't need to be a political issue. It's not a political issue. It's a human issue. So be human. And for all the people out there that are saying all lives matter, to you I'll say, all lives can matter when mine does too.